Okay, so in the last class, we were discussing about servlets. So we have seen like different types of servlets, like generic servlet, HTTP servlet, and also we have seen like how it will work, and also we have seen the HTTP methods like get, post, put. So after that, we worked on something called as cookies. So basically, I covered servlets in the last class. So, like the previous class, I also explained about the JDBC as well. So in the JDBC, we have seen how the Java programs are interacting with the database and fetch the results for you. So that is what have done in last two class. So today class is about how the servlets actually communicate with the JDBC, and it will fetch the results for you. So that is what we are going to do in today's class. So okay, so before I going to start about that, so I will explain about something called as model view controller. So this is the question they will ask you in the most of the interviews. Okay, so before I going to start about model view controller, so I will explain about something about engineering products. So basically, if it's any engineering project, okay, products, it for example, it may be mobile phones, or it can be televisions. So it can be anything. So basically it have three things. One we have is user interface. Okay, first thing we have user interface. Second thing we have mechanism. Third we have source or storage. So basically we have three things in any engineering product. So for example, if you take a mobile phone, so phone having user interface, we have something called a screen. Like mechanism, we have something called as motherboard. And source or storage, we have memory card. Okay, so when it comes to model view controller, so screen I can relate with the views. Okay, so motherboard I can relate with the controllers. Then memory card, I know I can control with the model. So like that, I can relate with screen, motherboard, memory card. So like that, I can relate. Let's talk about model view controller. Now we have the browser here. In the browser, if you type, you know, for example, if you type www.java.com. Okay, so when you type this URL, so what will happen? The first thing, it will reach the controller. Okay, it will reach the controller. Then it will reach the model. No, it will reach the model. Then the model is basically JDBC. It is connected with our MySQL server. Okay, so basically, we are sending the request from the here. So what will happen, from the controller it will reach model. Okay, if the data is there in the MySQL, from the model it will reach the controller, from controller it will reach the view. Okay, so now this is how the model view controller will work. But no, still we are working on J2EE. No, still haven't started Spring Boot and all. So in advanced Java, basically, view, we have, I will use something called as HTML or CSS, and controller. Basically, we will working on servlets. Okay, model we will have JDBC. Okay, so in our project, what exactly I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this. First, I'm going to create view, then controller, the model. Okay, so that is what we will do in our project. So, basically, we are combining servlets with the JDBC, and we'll fetch the results. And yesterday I was talking about the servlets, and why, and also discussed about why we use servlets. So servlets are basically, it's a web technology where we can generate the dynamic web pages. So for example, if you take static pages, for example websites, the websites, when you send the request, what will happen? So the each time when you click on the contact button, the contact will display. When you click on about button, about will display, right? So in case of like static, and we have dynamic web pages. Dynamic web pages are nothing but web application, right? So in web application we use the servlets. So each time when you send the request, it will generate the results based on the user request, right? So that is what it will happen in servlet. Okay, so this is how the model view controller will work. So now in our project we have to create the servlet, JDBC, and HTML pages we have to create. HTML, or we can use JSP pages as well. Okay, so yeah, now what I will do is first, what I will do is, the first part, what I will do first, I will create a controller which is servlet. Okay, then I will create a view. Okay, in the servlet, first what I will do is, first I will put one array. Okay, for that array, okay, I will just iterate that array, and I will display in the view. Okay, first part I will do that, so that in the next part I will connect with the controller, and JDBC I will connect. So first I will create a servlet. uh, I will create a view, then I will create a servlet. In the servlet I will put one array. That array, the list has to display in the view. Okay, so that is what we are doing first. Okay, so now I'm clicking on my Eclipse, and click on file, click on new. So as you know, when you want to create web application, so which project we have to use? We have to use something called as dynamic web project. In dynamic web project, I will type my project. I will click on next. I'll click on next. Okay, so I want to generate web.xml. I will be clicking on this. I'll click on finish. Okay, now the dynamic project got created. Okay, now to support my project, such as servlets and JDBC, and I use something called as JSTL in my JSP page. Okay, to support that I want something called as jar files. So where can we get the jar file? Okay, I will show you where exactly we can download these jar files. So to download jar file, you can just give, for example, you want JDBC, right? So for that, just type MySQL connector Maven. Okay, so MySQL connector Maven. Click this. Now we'll go something called as mavenrepository.com. Click on it. Okay, so there will be a lot of versions are there: 2.0, 3.0, 5.0. Okay, so you can choose any version, no issues. So for example, I'm choosing 8.0.23. When I click this, okay, so here we need to click on jar files. Okay, when I click on jar file, one jar file will get download. Okay, I will show you how the jar file will be. Okay, so this is to support the JDBC. Similarly, just type JSTL Maven download, like that. So there will be Maven repository site will come. Just need to download the jar files, like that. Okay, we want three jar files. One is JDBC, and another is to support the servlet. Okay, servlet, and JSTL, one library we require. So three. Okay, you need to download the three jar files. Now this is basically still I haven't started the Spring Boot. When it comes to Spring Boot, okay, so there is we have something called as pom.xml. In pom.xml, you don't need to download any jar file to add. Instead of downloading jar file, you can copy this line of code and you can paste inside the pom.xml. It will work. So that I will show you, when I start the Spring Boot. Okay, so now yeah, so click on this jar file and jar file will get download. Okay, so now where are the jar files? Like I've already downloaded the jar files. Okay, so I told you, like, we want three. One is to support this servlet, one is to JSTL, and another is JDBC. Okay, all these three jar files require in my project. So now I will, okay, so I can put this in the lib folder. Okay, okay, I can paste inside the lib folder to support in my project. Okay, so open my lib folder, I have servlet, I have JSTL, I have MySQL connector. Okay, so now I have this. Okay, so next what I will do is, so I want to create servlet, right? So how to create servlet? We have Java resource, under we have src. Just right click, click on new, click on servlet. Okay, click on servlet. So here I will type student servlet. Click on student servlet, click on next, click on next. Okay, so now we are basically dealing with the read operations, right? So yesterday I was explaining about this, get, post, put, and delete. So get is used to read the data basically from the server, and post is used to insert, and put is used to update, and delete is used to delete, right? See, here we have the all options like do get, do delete, do put, and do post. Now we are dealing with get, so I'm using get. Okay, so click on finish. Okay, now I've created the servlet here. Okay, so here we have no the servlet. So as I told you, uh, if it is a HTTP servlet, so it have both request and it have the response, right? So request response, like that we have. So now what I have to do is, first I will create an array. So that is string array. That is string. Okay. String student name. Okay. String student name is equal to we have the student names. Okay. So we have the student name we have here. I mean string array. So what I will do is if somebody requested this request, okay, request dot set attribute, okay, student name. Okay, so here actually what why I given this request dot set attribute, because the student, this name is there, right? So basically I use this in JSP page. Okay, so for that I have so for that I can use the same variable name or else I can change it. Okay, so basically I don't want to change the like array string array. So that's why I have given string name like that. Okay, but in projects uh, in the Spring Boot we use something called as model dot set attribute. Like this we will pass. Okay, so I will show you, when I was talking about the Spring Boot. Okay, so this is why I have given this, because my JSP page I'm going to use this student name. Okay, so for that, okay, I can use the same string array name or I can change it. Okay, so I don't know to change, so because of that I given like this. Okay, if you want to change you can change here. Okay, so that is why we have set attribute. Okay, here we have request dot set attribute. In Spring Boot and all we use something called as model dot set attribute. Okay, okay, so this is there here. So now see, whenever I send the request, okay, so in Servlets and all I need to specifically maintain like which page I want this request. Okay, so for that I have to use something called as request dispatcher. So request dispatcher, this is equal to request dot get request dispatcher. Okay, so here I can use show data dot JSP. Import that, then das dot forward request and response. Okay, so in the yesterday class I explained about forward as well, so you can just go through like previous class video as well. Okay, okay, so I have the student name and I have mapped here something like this, and in the request dispatcher I have given the JSP page. So whenever the request come from the like student dot JSP, okay, when the request come, the response it will give. Okay, so now I have to create this so data dot JSP. Okay, so for that I have to create one JSP page. Okay, so that where I can do under the web content, right click, new JSP file here. Okay, so here show.jsp, next finish. Okay, so now we have show.jsp page here. So now what we have to do is, as I told you, we have to display this string array, right? So in our view, basically in the JSP, right? So in JSP, we have to use something called as JSTL. Okay, so we use JSTL tags. So to iterate this string array in my view, that is JSP. Okay, so for that to support, we have to put one tag here. Okay, JSTL tag. Then we can use. Okay, so for that, what I will do, I will simply in the Google, I will just type JSTL. Okay, for each, like this. Okay, so now for each is to iterate. I will just copy the, I will open the tag. Okay, so now what I will do, I need to copy this tag no, and I have to paste on top here. Okay, so this is just JSTL tag and the supporting library we have already here. Okay, so when you're dealing with JSP page, we have one for loop for JSTL, that is something like this. See here, see for each variable I begin 1, end with 5. Okay, see out value like this. Okay, when I give this, what will happen? It will print 1 2 3 4 5 like that. Okay, so I'm going to copy this for each, this one. Okay, and I will paste here. Okay, I'll paste here. So now yeah, so I don't want to print 1 2 3 4, right? So I want to print what? I want to print this one, right? So to print my string array, I will just delete this and I will delete this. Okay, so for each var is equal to item. Okay, items is equal to, okay, so as I told you, here I mapped, right, the student name. So if you set attribute, okay, either you can change the like variable name if you want. Instead of student name, you can put student array. Okay, which is mapped here, right? So I want to copy this and I will paste here. Okay, now here we put dollar like this, item. Okay, so like that I can use. Okay, so we'll see. I think this is the right syntax. You see dollar I, right? So I use dollar item. Okay, okay, so now let me run this. See here, it is printing Ram, Rahul, Raj, Rohit. Okay, so I'm printing the string array the help of JSTL tag. I'm simply I'm iterating and I am getting the results, right? Okay, so now this is easy, right? So now I want to display the data from the database. Okay, so for that, what I have to do? Okay, so now first thing first, I will go to XAMPP. Okay, the XAMPP. I will click on Apache. I will click on MySQL, and let me go and check in the PHP whether I have data or not. So okay, okay, I have student table is there. I have student table is there. Okay, so I have the data. So now the challenge is now we have to display this ID, name, age. Okay, so from the server it has to read the data and it has to show us the result, right? So that is what my next challenge. Okay, so for that what I will do, I have to create one encapsulated class. Okay, getter and setter class to achieve the loose coupling. So I'll click on new. I will click on class. Okay, the class name is student. I will click on finish. Okay, so here I have now ID, name and age. So for that I will type string ID. I have no string name. I have string age. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to create getter and setter here. So right click, click on source. Okay, click on source, generate getter and setter. Okay, select all. Okay, so now I have get and set is there. So I want one default constructor and I want one parameterized constructor as well. So for that, right click on source, click on constructor using fields. Okay, generate. So now I have parameterized constructor here. So I want one more constructor, that is default constructor. Click on source. Okay, so click on constructor, deselect all, generate. Okay, I have default constructor here. See here, I have default constructor. Okay, I have parameterized constructor. Okay, so I have getter and setter. Okay, so three things are there now here. Okay, so next I will create something called as for JDBC. So I will create one more class, that is student util. Okay, so click on finish. Okay, see here what I'm doing is I want the data, right? So I cannot now fetch the data directly and put it in the view, so that is not the case, right? So what will happen is, so I will get the data and I will store it in my on the list. Okay, the collection list. Okay, so for that I will create something called as public static list. Okay, student, get student. Okay, array list. Yeah, is equal to new array list. Return student. Okay, import list, import array list. Okay, return AR. Okay, so for now I just kept one list here. So here I will paste my JDBC things. So for now I just created one class, one array list. See why we are why we have array list, or we use collection framework, because it will make, if you want to do any manipulation, it is very easy to when you have the data in the list, it is very easy to do the manipulations, right? So inside update delete from the array list, it is very easy. Okay, from the database it will fetch in array list and it will store the data in array list, right? So from the array list it is very easy to do the manipulation. Okay, so okay, we have this array list here. Here I want to paste my JDBC things here. Okay, so for that I will simply we have used that JDBC project, right? So previous class project. So I'm opening this project. So here I'm just copying the read data because I'm using read only, right? So I will copy from here to, yeah, I think I can copy till here. Yeah, close as well. Okay, so I will paste here. Okay, I will paste here. Okay, so here throws exception I will give. Okay, okay, see here we have JDBC port. We have already used this, right, in the last class. So the same thing I'm just just close project here. Okay, okay, so now this is the query to read the data. And okay, so here what is happening is it is printing in the result set, right? So I don't want to print in the result set. So same thing and little bit changes. Okay, instead of printing like this, what I will do is here I will give string id is equal to, okay, rs dot get string column index I will put 1. Okay, so this is what this is for the id, and this is number 2, this is for the name, and okay, next is for age. Okay, so there is a conflict here. So what is happening is, okay, twice you have name and name, right? So what I will do is I will put uname here, username, and here I will put uname. Okay, so this array list I will cut this array list, and I will paste after query. Here I will paste. Okay. Okay, so here I have to give something like this, student. Okay, ID name each stick close. Okay. Okay, so I will go to the servlet. In servlet, okay, I don't want to display this, right? So I want to get the data from the database, right? So for now I will just comment this. Okay, so what I will do is here I will type list student name. Okay, student name is equal to, okay, so here just copy this class name, dot get student. Okay, so it will ask for try catch block, just give that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I have just created one string, sorry, one created list. I'm just I'm calling this string util. Okay, string util, and the method I'm just calling in my servlet here. Okay, so now the data, okay, so whichever created here, that will store in array. Okay, so that actually I'm calling that method here. Okay, so same thing, request dot set attribute is there, right? So this I will copy and I will paste here. Okay, request dot set attribute student name and student name. Okay, now this variable, okay, so data, whatever the data we have, that will be stored in the student name that I have mapped here. Okay, so this is JDBC. Okay, this I am calling in here, that name, that method. Okay, so what I will do in the student util, here I need to call that parameterized constructor student is equal to new student. Okay, the first one is ID, name, age. Okay, er dot add, yes. Okay, so now all the backend things I have done. Okay, so I have the servlet here and I'm just calling this method. Okay, so the backend things are done. So now what we have to do, I will go to show.jsp. Okay, So here what I will do, so I don't need to change anything. So I item dot id I have, okay, I have item dot, the second one is name, okay, the third one is age. Okay, so I'm iterating, id name age is there. Okay, okay, I think that's all. Okay, let's see whether the data will display or not. Let me stop the server. Okay, so let me run the student server here. Next, finish. Oh yeah, see here it is displaying one Ramesh. Okay, so wait a minute.
We made a mistake in the student util where we are using the basic rs.getString command. I think so.
Oh yeah, see here. See rs
Yeah.
dot string 2 is there. Here we have to do string 3. So it is displaying. Great. So let me run. Okay, next, finish. Okay, so now it is displaying here. Okay, so what I will do is I will display this in the form of table. So that is very simple. What we have to do is we have to go to the student.jsp. So here let me type table. Okay, so I'll cut and I will paste after here. Okay, so type th, table header is name we have, next I have th, first we have one row, right? So for that type tr first, tr name, oh sorry, first is id, right? First we have id, then we have name, that is th, next we have age here, okay. So tr, t, okay. So this is to display in the table format, right? So let me stop the server. tr is open, tr is open, tr is closed, table is open, table is closed. Okay, let's see. finish. Okay, so it is displaying, but we have not given the border, right? So we have to give the border here. Table border is equal to 1, width is equal to some, I will give some 80%. Okay, let's see. Next, finish. Okay, so it is displaying the table format. Okay, so ID, name, and age is displaying. Okay, so okay, so in the project, what I will do is I will place one link here. So when I click that link, one form has to open. So in that form, you know, if we enter the data, when I give the insert, so data has to insert here one after another, like that it has to insert. And also I will perform update and delete operations as well. Okay, so just be online. So I will have some water and I will come back. Okay, just be online. Okay, so yeah, so next thing what I will do is, so I will put one link here. Okay, so when I click on that button, the page has to come. Okay, HTML page has to come. So that is what we will do. So here I will click to choose show data.jsp. So here href is equal to, okay, so I will type insert dot jsp, sorry, so here I'll give add new. Okay, I will give add new. Okay, the link is there here. Let me stop. Let me run. Next, finish. Okay, so add new. The link is coming. When I click this button, okay, this is going for insert.jsp. Okay, so it looks good. So here, click on web content. Click on new dot .jsp. So here I will have insert dot .jsp. Next, finish. Okay, okay, so I have one form. Action is equal to, okay, so I will pass to insert controller. Okay, here I have enter username, so input type is equal to text. Mm, name is equal to name. Okay, so enter username, enter user age. Okay, so I don't want to give a ID here, enter user ID, because ID is a primary key, right? So by default it will get generate. So name is there, just give age here. Okay, so I want one button as well, that's submit button. So I will type input type is equal to submit. Okay, input type is equal to submit, value is equal to submit. Okay, so let me check. Okay, so when I click add new, see here it is going for name and age. Okay, when I click this submit button, see it is going for insert control. That's great. Okay, so this is we have created for to add, to insert here. Okay, so for that we have to create insert controller. So what I will do is to edit and delete. Okay, so to edit and delete, I can create either buttons or I can go for link. Okay, so that we will place here, insert.jsp, not insert.jsp, it is show.jsp here under age to be. Okay, so here, okay, so I will create one more header. that is actions. Okay, I will have one TD here. Okay, so I want to link, right? So one for update and one for delete. Href is equal to update dot jsp edit. Okay, so this is for update, and we have one more that is for delete. That is okay. So I will stop. Oh yeah, I will give delete here. Okay, let me run this. Next, finish. Okay, see here action is there. I have edit. When I click edit, it is going for update.jsp. Okay, so when I click on delete, it is going for delete.jsp. Okay, so this is working. So what we will do is, we have to write so much of code, one for insert and one for update and one for delete here in the student util. Okay, and just need to call in the controllers, the student servlet. Okay, so we'll continue this project. Okay, so tomorrow we'll implement insert, update and delete. Okay, so the same project I will implement, and what I will do is we'll little bit work on FAQs as well, interview questions, and I will, so that I complete the advanced Java part, which is Servlet and JDBC. And day after tomorrow I can start with core spring. I can start. Okay, so we'll, yeah, so we'll continue the like tomorrow. Okay, so I, yeah, so we have, I think, continuous classes, back to back classes this week. Okay, so that the course will get finished soon. Okay, okay, so so as you asked, I will send you the recordings and all. I have already sent first 5 classes materials. I have sent them. Probably they might forget, or I don't know. I will just give them one reminder to send you the materials. Okay, okay,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you and have a nice day. Bye.
You too. Bye bye. Have a great day.